In this video, I want to introduce SBS Charter Online and how it works. So firstly, you would need to register. And very simple, name, email address, you create a password, something I'm sure you're very familiar with. Once you've filled in the name and email address, password, you'll then be asked to verify your email address. You go ahead and do that, and then you come to this screen. And it's important that you choose the right book. So on the online SBS, we use the ESV and the new RSV. And what you'd want to do is pick whichever book you're using. But let me say this is a one-time shot. So be sure to select the right one. And once you have chosen the version that you use, you click Save, and then you come into the screen. Now, very straightforward. This is such a great program to use. Let me just give a bit of a shout out to Paul Derbyshire, who's written this. Paul is living in Taiwan. He has done the SBS there in Taiwan, and it was out of that he created this program. He gives it freely. He makes it freely available. He's very helpful, incredibly supportive, and I just want to acknowledge my gratitude for Paul in making this so freely available to us. And so how does it work? Well, we're doing Titus. So we find Titus, we click on the Titus button, and you'll find that all of the paragraphs are automatically here, and the paragraph breaks will depend on the version that you're using, which is why we need to make sure you choose the right version. So for Titus, we fill in our paragraph titles. And so I have all of the paragraph titles in here, and it's always good to save frequently in the Save button. When you have your paragraph titles, you can then put in the book title and the key verse reference. Now, the great thing about this is the program will actually generate the verse on the horizontal chart, so you don't have to put that in. Now, the biggest thing about this particular program is to understand how Paul has set up the areas for the divisions and segments and sections. When you have a large book that has the paragraph titles that make segments, and segments make sections, and sections make divisions, then these buttons, they are just as they are in this sequence. And so you would first of all click on the button for the segment. Let's say a new segment starts in chapter 1 verse 5. You would click on the segment there, and you immediately have options for titles for all three of those levels: divisions, sections and segments. And you would work your way through quite simply like that. You would select the paragraph where a new segment begins, and then go back and select the place that a new section begins and a new division begins. When you have smaller books, let me just remove these out of the way here. You can delete these quite easily. The way Paul has set this up is it actually works from the right to the left. So on a book like Titus, when we only have segments, then you would use the far right button, what is labelled as a division. If you have a book with the two levels, that is, you have segments and sections, then this middle button becomes the segment, and this right button becomes the section. As I say, if you have all of the divisions in the bigger books, if you have segments, section and divisions, then that's how these buttons are laid out. And so Titus, it's a very small book, it's very simple. We simply have paragraphs that create together to make segments. Then we use just the button on the far right, and the segment break comes at 2:11, and so we would click this button, and then we would put in the title, Teach Sound Doctrine, and Right Living by God's Grace. We'll just give these. You'll see that we have the spell check in to help, which is really useful. And so now, as this is a small book and there's only segments, we're ready to produce the charts. The first thing you do is you save, and then you refresh. And when you do that, you have the button to create the charts. And just a warning there, helpful warning from Paul. You click OK, and the charts are generated. Now, there's a number of really helpful features that Paul has added. One, you're able to download your blank paragraphs. You're able to download your charts. You're able to download your list of paragraphs if you want to have them printed out to work on the structure. For larger books, it's pretty important you do that. You can print them out, and then you can work on the structure, and that's really, really helpful. You can download blank charts, and this happens by an email being sent to the email you registered with. So it's not downloaded on your computer, but it's sent by email. And some people like to do that. They print out the charts and then would use either the Word document or the PDF to do their work. You're able to alter the scale of your charts should you want to. And then there's other settings here that you are able to have a 2-column or 1-column for your paragraph titles when you print them out. You can explore this yourself. A lot of really, really helpful features. But if we just go back, we just wait while the charts are loaded again. There we are. Here you see you have your vertical charts. You come here, this nice helpful button. You can view the horizontal chart, which you see is all prepared for you. Or you can go to the vertical charts. When it comes to the vertical charts, you'll find that they're all set up, they're in proportion according to the verses, and then you're able to write the things that you want to. Inside, words from the text, you're able to, as you write, you have this little edit bar where you're able to highlight colors, you're able to change the text color, the size, all of these normal elements that you would have on most word processing programs. And then at the very end, you're able to download your charts, and then you're able to upload them into Moodle, or you're able to email them to your grader. So trust that's helpful. Again, let me say, as to the amount that is expected in your charts, please talk to your grader. They will help you know what's expected in the area. But this is a fantastic program, and I think you'll enjoy using it.